Walter drove the onyx-colored van as it rocked and swayed through the pitch-black night. The lights of the university shone in the distance, along with several neon signs of local restaurants and shops that surrounded the campus. The van continued off-road across the barren dirt and gravel until it approached a small wooden shed. The shed's wood walls, once painted a bright, cheerful color, were now faded and weathered, with peeling paint revealing the raw timber beneath. The roof, sagging under the weight of years, was dotted with patches of moss and lichen, giving it a mottled green appearance. Walter slowed the vehicle down to a calm but bumpy crawl across the rough landscape. "Pull up there," Job told him, pointing to the eastern side of the dilapidated building. His eyes fixated on it with an uneasy intensity. Walter caught himself staring and quickly turned his attention back to the task on hand and to an unmarked black sedan that was waiting for them on the opposite end of the building. Job approached the military crate stored next to the partial bench within the vehicle. He opened the case and pulled out an M4 rifle, handing it to Tamara. "Watch our back." "Walter and I got this," he said. 10-4, Tamara replied, taking the weapon and giving Walter a nudge toward the door. "You'll do fine." Walter let out a nervous sigh as he stepped out of the vehicle and began to follow Job. He was more accustomed to being the driver or leveraging his growing programming skills to scour the dark web for leads. Meeting a contact in some clandestine meeting out in the middle of, "Where the hell are we?" Walter thought to himself. The two men cautiously approached the shed. Its windows, some broken and others clouded with grime, offered a glimpse into the dusty interior. Empty beehive boxes, some still intact while others had collapsed, were scattered about, their surfaces covered in cobwebs. Wooden frames once filled with buzzing bees and golden honeycombs now hung askew, their wires rusted and brittle. "Don't stress this," Job said calmly. "We met Officer Harris through Edgar. I think we can trust him enough." Walter looked skeptically at Job. "Enough?" "Just about as much as I trust anyone with a badge. You never know which ones give a shit or just serve as SS for the man. You remember Ouroboros?" Ouroboros. The very mention of the word stirred anger and ire in Walter. Years ago, when he was an aspiring athlete, he watched his big sister follow in their father's footsteps and join the military. A year later, his neighbor and longtime friend Job also enlisted and left him behind. Left him alone. Both Tamara and Job ended up in a special forces unit under the command of Blake. Aspiring future talent, they were called. He was proud of them. But Job returned from POW status as a broken and delusional lunatic, ranting of dark secrets in the caves of Afghanistan, of a global conspiracy that drove the war, and of secret organizations controlling the media and manipulating the masses. Walter did not believe him. He did not believe his friend. He just prayed. He just did nothing, he thought to himself. "Were you followed?" Officer Harris asked nervously as he stepped out of the dark sedan ahead. "No," Job said sternly, "and we left our phones back home." Shit, Walter thought to himself. He found himself suddenly praying that no one would text him. Officer Harris looked relieved. "Good. So, I am guessing something caught your eye in the file I gave you." Walter studied his crisp uniform and neatly pressed shirt, his Kevlar chest piece tightly fit around his bulky, slightly overweight frame. He was not an attractive man, with pale, freckled skin and short blonde hair, but he noticed that his smile seemed surprisingly genuine if nervous. "It's him, isn't it?" Job asked. Walter's curiosity piqued, but he found himself frustratingly unaware of what was going on. "It's the Hollow Heart Killer. He's connected to the missing children, right?" Job asked. Harris nodded slowly. "The manner of death matches his other victims, and the autopsy confirmed the same murder weapon was used in previous killings. That brings his count to 15. "But that means he isn't working alone?" Walter asked aloud. "Correct," Officer Harris replied. "It means that not only is he part of something bigger, but something bigger is supporting and protecting him." Walter pondered in morbid contemplation. "Very astute, young man," Harris replied. How protected are we talking? Job inquired. Officer Harris reached into his pocket and pulled out a small flask. His hand shook as he took a slow swig. Enough that I'm starting to have second thoughts about giving you that file. He placed the flask back into his pocket. You see, some suits came and already started asking questions about possible leaks. I don't think they'll connect it to me, though. Harris quickly wiped the sweat from his brow. Whatever happens, we'll leave your name out of this, Job promised. Yeah, Harris mumbled. Just save those kids and kill that bastard. Thanks for your help, Job said as he passed a small drive of crypto to Harris. I saw the ring cam footage from one of the previous crime scenes. There was this haunting ass whistle. His voice trailed briefly, like a creepy jingle. Then the screaming started. But that song, it just kept going. I still can't get it out of my head. Walter and Job contemplated the officer's words as they left the rendezvous point. Walter had given up on his faith when he learned the truth of why the major, his father, had died. But at this moment, even as he drove away with Job and Tamara, he wished that there was some truth to those prayers and words he once believed. Maybe then he would not feel so lost, so desperate, so alone. You ever look back on your life and wonder how the hell you ended up here? Lost, adrift in a sea of shitty decisions and even shittier luck. But you know what? I'm still standing. Cassandra stared out the window as the group of hunters sat around the living area, listening to her tale. I thought I could outrun my past, start fresh somewhere new. So, I hit the road, chasing illusions of a better life. But life has a funny way of tripping you up. One wrong turn led to another, and before I knew it, I found myself running from the same ghosts I thought I escaped. Her eyes searched the night sky outside the window, as if searching for something above. Then I stumbled upon it. The compound at the old schoolhouse on East Street. They said they were looking for people like me, helping people like me. I thought maybe, just maybe, this could be my chance. Maybe I finally caught a break. But I quickly saw something the others missed. I've seen how the right person with the right words could turn good people into something so broken and wrong. And as they were brainwashed by those words, I realized the truth. This place wasn't salvation. It was damnation. She took a deep breath. So I began to look around, and I started to ask questions. Too many questions, which made me a problem. Was the problem that you took long to get to the point? Michael impatiently asked. Shut up, Michael, Job stated quickly before turning to Cassandra. You discovered something, didn't you? Something you shouldn't have. Cassandra nodded. They're pushing drugs, fentanyl, and something much, much worse onto those desperate enough to come to them for help. They break them and condition them into obedient zealots that will do anything for their leader, even kill. So one might say it would be a good deed if by chance someone, say, happened to kill two of them? Trish nonchalantly asked as she sipped from her hot chocolate. One could call it heroic, even. What about the missing children? Walter asked. Cassandra shook her head. I don't know. Not for certain, but there is a compound on the northern edge that everyone seemed scared to enter. I think that is where they would keep them. But before I had to escape, they were sending some of their flies to watch nearby schools. They were looking for someone special. Faye leaned forward as he handed a hot chocolate to Cassandra. Flies? Spies, she replied. Flies are the spies, roaches are dealers, and the spiders are their killers. They break you down until you forget your name, and that is all you think you are. So the missing children, Job pondered aloud. They think that one of the 6 might be the target they are after. Then what will they do with the other 5? His voice trailed into silence. So, what is the plan? Tamara asked, staring intently at Job. Tammy, call Blake. He answered. We are going to need all the help we can get. Help with what? Michael asked. Cassandra could feel Job's eyes staring at her even as she looked away, most likely questioning her every word. She wouldn't blame him for finding a way out, a reason and rationale to escape the all-too-real danger of confronting this group. Job turned from her to stare out the window, seemingly lost in thought. We don't have a lot of intel on this compound or this cult, let alone whether the missing children are even there. He turned to face his comrades. But we didn't start this group to look the other way and play it safe, praying and waiting for others to get the job done. This is what we do. Job's fierce stare startled her. His unwavering eyes reminded her of a bird of prey stalking, hunting. Those kids are the same age as my son. There is no way I am waiting another minute, even on the slim chance that they might be trapped with those damn maniacs. We roll in 5, and Trish... Job's voice trailed for the briefest of moments. Get your sword. Let's go do something heroic.